Hey guys, today I'm going to share my experience of trying to save a MacBook Air 15-inch M3 from water damage. If you've ever spilled water on your laptop and panicked, wondering if it's completely ruined, this video is for you. I'll take you through everything. What happened, what mistakes I made, what worked, and what didn't. Hopefully, my experience can help someone else in a similar situation. I got a call from my younger brother, and he sounded panicked. He said, "While I was sleeping, I accidentally punched the table and spilled water on my MacBook. It's been sitting in the water for about 2 hours. What should I do?" I immediately sent him the location of the official Apple Service Center. He grabbed a bunch of towels, stuffed the MacBook in his backpack, and ran to the service center. When he got there, a lot of water leaked out of the laptop as he took it out. I was expecting the repair to be expensive, but when I saw the price, I was speechless. The cost of repairing the MacBook was so high that I could buy 2 brand new MacBooks for the same price. And to make things worse, they wanted to replace components that had nothing to do with the water damage.
Dear customer, please be informed that after testing your device submitted under worksheet number CST39625, we have found the following estimated repair cost: $2,380 USD. This quote contains the following spare parts services: MagSafe module, audio module, Touch ID trackpad, display, battery speaker, logic board, keyboard again, other, lid angle, sensor, USB-C port, Shure X.
Some of the parts they listed weren't even affected. It felt like they were just trying to sell me unnecessary repairs. I wasn't going to let that happen. Before taking the MacBook back, I made a special request. I asked them to disconnect the power connector. This is a crucial step when dealing with water damage because it prevents further short-circuiting. With the laptop back in my hands, I knew I had to fix it myself. When I opened the MacBook myself, I realized Apple did nothing. They just removed the backplate and sent an email. I'll show you proof later. At this point, I knew I had to fix it myself. I started searching for M3 MacBook water damage repair videos but found nothing. However, an iFixit video showed me that I could open the MacBook myself. Probably not the best idea. So, I began thinking about what tools I'd need. I first decided to try putting the MacBook in a bowl of rice to absorb any remaining moisture. I also ordered 99.9% isopropyl alcohol and tools for maintenance. The MacBook stayed in rice for 5 days, and this turned out to be a huge mistake. I'll explain why later. At first I thought about using the bowl of rice method. You know, the one everyone talks about when their phone gets wet. I figured rice could help absorb the moisture inside the MacBook, so I placed the MacBook in a bowl of rice and left it there for 5 days. This was a huge mistake. I'll explain why later, but trust me, if you ever spill water on your laptop, do not put it in rice. Preparing for the repair. While waiting for the rice to work, I ordered a few things. 99.9% isopropyl alcohol for cleaning corrosion and oxidation, precision screwdrivers and repair tools, anti-static gloves to avoid damaging components with static electricity. Before opening the MacBook, I watched 5 different repair videos, learning everything I could about water damage, disassembling a MacBook, and cleaning components safely. I carefully removed the backplate and started unscrewing the components. If you ever try this, here's my advice. Use an A4 sheet of paper to write down where each screw and part goes. Record a video of yourself disassembling the MacBook. This helps you remember where everything belongs. At first, everything looked okay. But when I removed the touchpad, I noticed something concerning. Oxidation all over the plate. The good news and the bad news. The oxidation actually made me a bit relieved because it meant the water had mostly pooled at the bottom of the MacBook rather than damaging the motherboard. I inspected the logic board, battery, and connectors, and surprisingly, there were no visible signs of water damage. The battery wasn't swollen, which was another good sign. However, I was scared to remove the motherboard because it had so many tiny chips and components that could easily break. But after carefully following the instructions, I managed to do it without damaging anything. When I finally opened the motherboard cover, I couldn't believe my eyes. There was no sign of water damage at all. Reassembling the MacBook. At this point, I had two choices. Completely disassemble the MacBook, remove the battery, and replace the keyboard plate. Reassemble everything, clean the touchpad with isopropyl alcohol, and hope it works. I chose option number 2. I cleaned the touchpad with isopropyl alcohol, let it dry, and started reassembling everything. A few times I thought I had lost screws, but luckily, I hadn't. The moment of truth. Turning it on. After everything was put back together, it was time to turn the MacBook on. I was nervous. My logic told me that if nothing was damaged, it should work. But at the same time, I had this fear that I had completely messed something up. I pressed the power button. The MacBook turned on. Party popper. The final problem. Touchpad and keyboard. Not working. Even though the MacBook booted up, the touchpad and keyboard weren't working at all. I double-checked the connections, but everything was plugged in correctly. That's when I realized the rice had actually damaged the touchpad board. Since the water had stayed trapped inside, corrosion had formed, and when I tried cleaning it with a brush, I accidentally destroyed some microchips. Ordering replacement parts. I started searching for replacement parts locally, but nothing was available for the MacBook Air 15-inch M3. Even eBay had nothing. Then I remembered. China makes everything. So I went on AliExpress, and after 30 minutes of searching, I finally found the parts I needed. I ordered a new touchpad and keyboard for $75, and now I'm waiting for them to arrive. Final thoughts and advice. If water gets inside your MacBook, here's my advice. Take it to a repair shop ASAP if possible. If you can't, open it, disconnect the power, and dry all parts immediately. Do not put it in rice. Clean it properly with isopropyl alcohol before reassembling. I hope my experience helps someone out there. In my next video, I'll show you whether I was able to fully repair the MacBook after installing the new parts. See you in the next one.